Everyone. I'm Carrie Warnick, Program Coordinator for Multi-Region Purchasing Co-op, and welcome to today's training all about tracking your total spend on commercial foods against what you spent on non-domestic foods. Now, you are watching this because you received the link in the email where I do outline and provide details about all of this. But I felt like I wanted to walk you through the spreadsheet and talk a little bit about that email. I have had some questions this year. It seems there is a bit of confusion on how is all this to work and what are we to track? What are the requirements around this new rule? Keep in mind that this is all about your spending on commercial foods. Processed commodities are taken off the table, literally. Anything when you purchase a USDA processed food, whether it's through TDA contracted warehouse, directly to your district from the processor, or through our commercial distributors such as Labatt and Cisco, those are not included in this total spend tracking, as long as it's something you purchased and received a commodity discount on. Now, keep in mind, there are many products that you can purchase through Labatt or Cisco that are processed commodities but sold as commercial products. So maybe you're a school district that doesn't process, or maybe you did not process with the processor. You don't have banked pounds, and you buy, let's say, a pizza. If you bought it as a commercial product, that can be included. But if you bought it as a processed commodity and you received a commodity discount, that cannot be included. So just wanted to clarify that a little more. The other question that I'd had was, do you have to basically parse out ingredients in a product? Let's say juice cups. Maybe they do meet the Buy American rule, which means they are substantially containing U.S. agricultural products. 51% or greater of the edible part of that product is US sourced or grown, but maybe 49% is coming from other countries. That single product qualifies as meeting the Buy American provision. That is not a non-domestic product, and you don't have to calculate the value of that 49% that maybe is from other sources as a non-domestic expenditure. As I stated, that would probably make us all go a little crazy. The product is either meeting Buy American or it's not. That means it's meeting that 51% or greater rule. Okay, let's talk about the tracking of all of this. And I will say that you can make this as involved and detailed as you want or as easy as you want. And USDA and TDA, what they're wanting to see from you is that you're using some kind of a tracking sheet that shows the commercial products you've purchased, what's the total spend amount on each of those products, and then a grand total, and then what's the total amount of those products in that list that are non-domestic that you spent. Then you're going to calculate what percentage of total spend on non-domestic products is occurring in what you're purchasing. The goal is that your commercial purchasing should not include more than 10% of your total spend on non-domestic products. So I gave you the USDA tracking sheet. It is a little more involved because there are columns that you could enter an invoice number, dates, and other various details. That's not a requirement. It's simply a tracking sheet they have provided to hopefully make your life a little easier. I have also created a tracking sheet that is a little more basic and still will meet the requirements of showing you tracked your total spend, showing you tracked how much you spent on non-domestic items and what percentage. Where are you in meeting that cap? Now, let's take a look at what we've got in the way of the spreadsheet. Okay, let me get my screen straightened up here and get myself out of the way. All right. What you're looking at is the spreadsheet template. This is the MRPC tracking sheet that I've created. And basically, this is a mirror almost of what you would get from Labatt if you are using Labatt and you ask for that Buy American report. Now, I will be sharing this as a template. It won't include products, obviously, but I will be sharing this as a template to all of our food vendors so that they understand the data and details you need to track what you're spending on commercial items and if there was any spending on non-domestic items. It's pretty straightforward. It is set up so that you can receive those various reports and copy and paste into this tracker sheet. You will notice that I have it set up by month. There are colored tabs towards the bottom, labeled by month. I personally think it's asking a lot of our vendors to provide reports on a weekly basis. You have to keep in mind they are servicing a lot of districts across the state, not just our districts. And it also puts quite a bit of work on you. If you're just getting a monthly report, that's a little bit easier than every week trying to fill out one of these tracker sheets. But again, that is a personal choice. So that really is up to you. And you may have already created your own tracking sheet. As you will see, there's a column for a vendor name. So if you're using produce vendors, bread vendors, ice cream vendors, you can drop in the name of the awarded vendor. Then there is the awarded vendor or stocking code. That's like a Labatt code, a Cisco code. Some of our vendors use manufacturer codes as their stocking code. That's really up to the vendor. Then you've got a manufacturer product code, the label, pack size, description. Then there's the total number of cases you purchase within that monthly period. No pricing is shown because the vendor is going to provide you with how much total sales occurred with each of these products based on the number of cases purchased. So you're going to get that number here in this column, and you'll see this particular column is labeled domestic sales. Then we've got a non-domestic sales, and Labatt right now is providing what they call a pending sales. Now, these are products that Labatt has not gotten confirmation from the manufacturer as to whether they meet the Buy American provision or not. Be leery of these products. Watch what you're purchasing, and there is, obviously information that you can try to get on your own. We're trying to get that information. Labatt is working on it. I know Cisco has some items they haven't been able to confirm yet. So everyone in the industry is working towards having the confirmation. Is it Buy American compliant or not? But just to be leery, take a look at the products. If you get your report from any of your vendors, and there are some that don't have a status known yet, really push for that to be known. Now, I have added calculator cells at the top of each of these columns so that between all the products purchased, I know that in MRPC with Labatt, it's generated 17,764,000. In non-domestic, 3,297,000, and then impending about 30,000. All three of these totals equal your total spend. That's the big picture. I've given you a calculating cell, total commercial spend. I've then calculated what percentage of our non-domestic sales makes up or comes from that total spend. And right now, multi-region co-op as a co-op is sitting at 15.63%. So we are exceeding the cap with Labatt. But keep in mind, you're purchasing from a lot of other food vendors. Once you start adding in all those other food purchases, maybe there are a lot of products from, say, Masters. You're getting ice cream, maybe fresh bread, produce, not your DOD, but commercial produce. That's going to start to balance out and get a little closer to 10%, hopefully on your end. I haven't added in anything but Labatt in this training. So once I get other reports and I take a look, I can see where we are as a co-op. Now, once you've got all your months going down here, and you'll see they start off looking blank, you're going to copy and paste from the reports you get into the tracker sheet. I have the first tab set up as aggregate totals. The way this tab works is you get each month, and it's just a quick overview of the totals for each month. And then we've run some aggregate based on annual purchasing. So you can see where you are by month or by year. And I've got to correct this particular function. Um, but each month will calculate, and these are getting pulled from the tab. So this tab will actually be locked down. You won't be able to make any changes in here because it's pulling from the information that's getting calculated over here on each monthly tab. So at any point in the school year, you can jump over here to aggregate totals and see where you are in the year. You may have months where you're over 10%. You may have months where you're under 10%. I'm hoping that as you go through the process and get more comfortable with the tracking, you will be able to target where are you purchasing things that are creating that beyond 10%, and are there comparable domestic products you can purchase, or are some of these products just things that are going to have to go to the wayside. Um, so anyway, there's the sheet. Like I said, this is an option, but I wanted to kind of walk through it and know you've got other options out there. You've got the USDA tracking sheet. I think TDA even has a tracking sheet. You've got the MRPC tracking sheet, or maybe you have created your own that works for you. The goal, as I mentioned in the email, is track maybe on a monthly basis, maybe on a quarterly basis. That's acceptable. There are no rules about how often you're tracking. You just need to show proof that you tracked throughout the school year. And there will be no findings from this year because it's our first year. We're all getting comfortable with this new rule. And if you exceed that 10% by the end of the year, you'll be getting some type of assistance on how to correct that in the next year. All right. Hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of the MRPC tracking sheet. And if you have any questions, know we are here to answer those for you. So please reach out. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.